have you ever encountered a feeling? Have you ever had a feeling on your project that you don't have a complete information with you? You don't know what are the requirements. Still, everything is vague, but they are asking you to come up with some plan. This is where this rolling wave planning comes in. You can see a big wave behind me. I'm sitting under it. I'm trying to make sure that this wave does not take me away. That is the concept for the rolling wave plan, that every wave comes up, takes a height, and then dies down when it comes to you, if you are standing on the shore. So this is called a rolling wave. Every time a wave goes up, it takes its height and then it finishes. So this is the same concept that we have to do. We will be doing a detailed planning of things that we are doing now or a thing that we have to do in the near future, and the high level planning for the things which are or which needs to be done in the future or a far future. So we will take up the job, we will identify the requirements, those requirements which needs to be done quickly and in the near future. We go into the detail, we find out what are the activities, we plan it, we hand over to the execution team, they execute it, and then we move forward. So in this way, we will be actually doing a multiple benefits. First of all, our production activities will begin without waiting for so much time or without waiting for a complete planning. And then also a feedback mechanism will be in place. The second we hand over something to the production, we will able to identify if there is any weakness or if there is any gaps in terms of what we are planning and what we need to do in the future. So rolling wave plan has multiple benefits when it comes to actually you implement this on the project. It does not mean that you don't know or you do not understand the scope. It does not mean you don't have the scheduled deliverables or cost estimates with you. It is just you do not, the requirements are still vague. You do not have enough information to go into the detail to identify the activities. So this is, you create a high level estimate, you create a high level work breakdown structure. You don't go to the work package level where you need to identify every single activity. So along the course of the project, many things changes. And this is with the feedback mechanism in place, because obviously you are planning for the near future. You are handing over for a production or execution, and when they come back to you and they identify and tell you what are the weaknesses or what are the gaps, you can definitely control and bridge those gaps in the future releases in the future planning. So there are a lot of aspects if they are not known. So we will be decomposing all what we have currently, the current deliverables or a subcomponent that will be accomplished into the near future, and we will keep it a little level higher for the far future. The project management team usually waits until the deliverables or subcomponent is agreed upon, so the details of the work breakdown structure can be developed. This is all what is called a rolling wave plan. In this we have it is incremental cycle based on the project length and activity complexity. You may have bigger cycles, you may have a smaller cycle. This you can also see in terms of agile when you are talking of iterative scheduling with a backlog. The requirements are documented in user stories, then they are then prioritized, and the backlog which could be a product backlog will be prioritized, refined, and then just prior to construction, just prior to execution, the product features are developed using time box period activities. So just before the execution, you go into the detail, you identify the activity that you need to do so that you can plan it. So it is that you know what is going to be delivered. You have a fair idea of the final scope, but the activities to deliver this is not known, and you are not actually spending time to identify those, because still we are in very early stages of the project, and this requirement or this user story does not need to be delivered in the near future. So you are not getting into it. So once you have the fair idea, you know what you need to deliver, then you get into it and then identify the activities. This approach is often used to deliver incremental value to the customer. The benefit of this approach is that it welcomes changes throughout the development life cycle. So if you are talking of the fixed method, if you are talking of the waterfall method, rolling wave plan can be used for iterative and incremental, both. Then when you are talking of agile or adaptive, then you are using iterative scheduling with backlog. Their changes are welcome. In the waterfall method or the incremental and iterative method, changes will definitely go through the change control board or change control process that you have implemented, that you have in place, but you have a feedback mechanism and incremental value in place. Here changes are very well are welcome when you are an adaptive, so you can, whatever changes are there, you will incorporate in the next one. The idea is work can exist at various levels of detail depending on where it is you are in the project life cycle. So if you could see, so we in short, one liner is, we want to plan the project as it unfolds. We want to see the feedback. We want to see what is happening in our project. What kind of a feedback that we are getting from our execution team, from our client, from our sponsor. If we are talking of, even if we are even not talking of adaptive, but we are talking of incremental or iterative cycle. Where we are actually delivering incremental value in terms of incremental. So this feedback will help us making sure that whatever we are doing now is whatever we will be planning in the future bridges those gaps and would not have the same challenges or the issues that we have currently, that the team is currently facing. So iterative scheduling with a backlog is a form of rolling wave plan. The requirements are documented in the user stories. This is for the adaptive. The cycle is very simple. If you want to use it on a project, based on the requirement, prepare using the work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure is the spine, is the backbone of any good planning. So if you have a clear work breakdown structure, you would able to plan well at every stage. You would able to plan well all the dynamics of the project. So whether it is costing, whether it is scheduling, whether it is resource, whether it is quality, whether it is earned value management, everything is actually dependent on the well-defined work breakdown structure. This is directly linked with the sequence activities, which is 6.2 for the scheduling. So rolling wave planning is what we do when we want to plan as the project unfolds, as we get more and more information about the project. We don't want to plan far in future about the, obviously we all understand we don't know what is going to happen in the future. So yes, we want to forecast, but let's plan when we have enough information about the job or about the work package or about the sub-component or a component of a work breakdown structure when we get the information. Thank you very much for your time.